Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Gen Rental Podcast. I want to thank our main sponsor, mr.alfred, a leading PMS and revenue management system for holiday homes, born and raised in Dubai. Hello, everyone. My name is Oriol Plana. I'm the CEO and founder of the Alternative Hospitality Council, and I'm here with two amazing guests. We have Gianpaolo Vairo and Damian Sheridan, which are the founders of a Scale Show, I think created in October 2019. But please explain us your story, individual story, joint story. So please, you can start. I don't know, Damian, if you want to start.
I'll start then, yeah. Thank you very much, Oriol, for having us and your team. So my journey goes back 20 years to when I first bought and started renting out an apartment in a very different era.
You can tell that.
Pre-Airbnb. And yeah, very, very different time. So yeah, since then I've been working as an SEO consultant with vacation rental property management companies, and more recently in events for the last 5 years. The Book Direct Show, which we really stress education for those companies looking for direct booking strategies. And more recently, with my fellow co-founder here, we formed the Scale series of shows, which are specifically designed for professional property management companies in our magnificent short-term rental industry. That's me.
So my name is Gianpaolo. I've been working in the short-term rental industry for 15 years now. Oh, ages. I started by chance, totally by chance. I was working in a development company developing, buildings in Barcelona when I moved in Barcelona 15 years ago. And by chance, I found myself in a position to switch an entire building into vacation rental. So from this very moment, I found myself saying, oh, wow, this is really huge. So I learned a lot of things by doing. And this is, what possibly makes feel in love with this industry. So since then, I've been working in different, as a property manager for nearly 7 years. We manage up to 100 units in Barcelona. Wow, crazy. And I've been working in several tech companies. I don't want to disclose names, but many tech companies, especially in the distribution, so PMSs, channel managers. And since 2015, I developed independent event for holiday rentals company between Spain and Italy, mostly. And since 2019, together with Damian here, we launched this new concept that is Scale Rental Show, that is quite different from other events in the industry.
Excellent. So I see that there is a lot of different backgrounds, touching different points on the industry. So which of you think are these important points throughout your career that brought you to the idea of creating such an event that is Scale? Maybe what you can do is, first of all, explain what's Scale, and maybe then why Scale, why now, and why based on all these aspects we have done.
Sure. Oriol, you will know that there's a lot of conferences in our industry. I think like any industry, there are a lot of events that help and educate hosts and managers in this industry. What I found in my capacity as an SEO consultant, I used to go to a lot of these conferences, and I found that perhaps they were a little bit too generic. They weren't niche. They didn't really focus in on a specific type of attendee. And I felt there was too many of those kind of unspecific conferences in our industry. So I thought it needs to be niche. Obviously, I had the SEO background, which helped me kind of think of the idea about direct bookings, that there was a real need for direct bookings, hence the Direct Show. But in terms of the Scale Show, Gianpaolo and I we met at a conference in 2019. And we really felt like the user experience for the attendees specifically was not good enough. They didn't have enough in common. And the feedback when we interviewed some property managers afterwards was that they really wanted an experience whereby they could be in an environment where they were alongside professional property managers. And that's really was our focus. Is there something whereby professional property managers, and we have a limit, kind of very rough limit of about 20 units per company, is there a need for an environment for a day or two whereby they know, attendees, delegates know they're going to be amongst the best PMs out there? And we felt there was something there. Through our initial market research, that backed it up, and we had our first event. As you know, last year, we've had 6 or 7 since in various countries, but it really did back this up in that there is a need for the professional operators in our industry to be together. And we have amazing speakers and everything, but it's really the networking, it's the learning from each other that is the key, kind of the highlight almost of our shows.
Many conferences all over, and not just Europe, we saw that there are a control at some point from sponsors and partners. They are paying for being there, and some kind, very frequently they are controlling or influencing the content of the whole conference. And people feel that, say, look, I'm going to a conference where companies are really selling me something. So I feel like I'm there just to be, sort of, I would say, I'm there to be, I'm exposed to commercial things all over it. So it's not about that. So we felt that this is not what property managers are looking for. They're looking for real life experience, real, business case, user stories. So what they learned is developing their business. We consider vacation rental industry is quite a recent market. It's 15 years old. So all the people now that they are successful property managers, they learned a lot during these 15 years. Mm-hmm. They want to learn by these people. So how you get there, how you scale your business, and this is the name. So when we were thinking about names, they are scaling. Yeah, this is the name for the show. So scaling show.
And actually, as Damian said, I must confess I'm a proud attendee of the event in Barcelona, which I think is the flagship event, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct.
And I must say the environment, the vibe, the networking, and everything is amazing. And it's true that there are conferences. It's true that there are people discussing how to scale. But I think big part of the success of scale is the networking, the level of the quality of the attendees, and also, I mean, having experience attending other conferences also is the mindset of the attendees. No, they don't go there maybe because corporate has asked them to go there. They go there because they want to be there. They want to have this exposure network. Probably the after conference also events help. So you have created a community, which is that's why
still working in progress, I would say.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted you to have in the show, because I think it's something that we want to bring in Dubai and foster a bit more this collaborative environment that you have created. So congratulations for that.
Thank you.
So now that we know a little bit the journey of yourself and why scale, summarizing, I understand that your main focus are the property managers, and you want to build a conference around them and to provide value. So taking advantage of the fact that you have been doing events in Europe, in the UK, in Italy, in Spain, US, I think South Africa recently, how do you see the market dynamics, especially post-pandemic, going globally, regionally, of vacation rentals and property managers?
Look, I would say there are 3. Let's start from the first concept, is consolidation. So this is a market that is very fragmented, and we are seeing a lot of property managers now trying to, concentrate the business locally. So property managers, large property management company buying smaller ones is something that makes sense, because this is a growing market, but low. I would say profits are really, really steep. So running a small property management company is sometimes hard. So that's why large property managers are now consolidating into large ones. Then is a profit. The second keyword for what is going on now in the industry is profitability. Many times before COVID, there were a lot of people running even with decent amount of units. Let's say I found a property manager with 15 units that their turnover was very low, near to zero. Say, why are you doing this business? Yeah, this is the only thing I can do. Yeah, but it's not profitable. So one of the keywords now is profitability. So how to control your costs, how to control your distribution, how to improve, operation to, reduce, to make cost-effective business and very profitable, stay. So this is the thing is, and what else?
Just alongside that, I would also say that in terms of scaling, quite often, in terms of profitability, scaling is not necessarily increasing inventory all the time. Actually, it can be reducing your inventory. Eliminating those owners that just take up too much time. The properties that we have to perhaps invest too much in, they're just problematic things. Sometimes actually scaling is reducing at the same time to become more profitable.
So optimization, 360 degrees optimization. So as you said, being more profitable, discard all the things that are making causing problems on your day-to-day operations, and makes your business simple and profitable. That's it.
So that's a very good point, because this morning in the Alternative Hospitality Council, I was talking to some attendees, property managers, and they were talking about scale, growing, that they were struggling with growth, no? And I was sharing my experience as in my previous life as CEO of Highguest, and that pandemic was very tough.
It was.
But it allowed us to filter and to clean the portfolio. And you mentioned the hosts or the owners that are probably a little bit problematic, but also the quality of the portfolio. No? Sometimes we're talking about reviews. Maybe 10% of your portfolio is damaging your review score, and you don't realize the impact this has, no? Because you only see the revenue, and you don't do maybe ABC costing, all this. No? So I think, and that's part of the strategy and our vision in the council, is to help small and medium operators to understand the journey that others have done, and I mean, it's not advising, or it's not trying to avoid them to do the same mistakes, but at least it's sharing our experience.
Yeah, I think in the early stages of our journeys in short-term rentals as property managers, we want more and more properties, and that's almost the judgment of success is by how many properties we're actually managing. But actually, that almost in a way couldn't be further from the truth, because it is down to profitability. It is down to how streamlined your processes are, and really doesn't come down to amount of units at all.
Excellent. Yeah. I call it vanity metric, no? The number of units.
Yeah.
It's the easy one. Everyone talks about it, because you cannot say my profit, my revenue maybe, but you cannot.
A lot of
you
people
don't want to disclose profit, so everyone talks about the vanity metric of units. So So going back to what you were saying about the streamlining operations, focusing on profitability, how did you see the technology, which is one of our main cores in the council, and then Mr. Alfred, CE affecting processes, profitability? So what are the technologies that you have seen property managers adopting in the recent years, in the last years?
I would say, so PMS is something that I've been asked from many property managers, especially those that have less than 10 units, say, it makes sense to have a PMS. Say, what? Even if you have 2 units, you need to have a PMS. It's the core of your business. It's the basics of your business. There you have all the metrics, all the, the number of booking, the number of, this is the basic piece of technology you have to be in place. But we are talking about PMS. PMS is the very standard. The technology that, maybe sounds odd, but is revolutionized in the past, like 2 or 3 years. So since the COVID, and is going to revolutionize the industry, is the keyless entry. So the smart locks, just to let you understand, this is something that is really is a game changer in the in the operational aspect of your business, because this is going to simplify your business under many aspects. It's going to reduce costs, it's going to simplify the guest experience, and is going to give you a bit of control who is going to enter in the properties. So this is at some point going to be a really useful technology. You have to be in place.
I'd also add on top of that, I mean, say 3 or 4 years ago, people really didn't even know what dynamic pricing was. That was not really a thing, but now it's commonplace. You know, you're even smaller property management companies of 5-10 units, they're all at very least exploring it. So I think our kind of embracing of technology is changing all the time. We know we have to, and education through conferences and online is much better. But I think it's just fascinating how that we embrace these technologies, you know, over the years, how something becomes much more important than you may have ever thought of before. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's just two things of dozens out there of things that some property management companies would see as essential, as well as obviously a basic property management software tool.
Yeah, this morning in the event we were discussing about technology, and I made a comment about dying of technology, no? Because sometimes so what we're saying is true, but as property managers, sometimes we're overwhelmed by the amount of tools, but not only per process, the amount of tools in so many process or steps in the customer journey. No? So we have like 20 areas, and within each area, 50 tools. No? So a common question I get asked is, what is better, in your opinion, to have one unique software that has the whole technology within, or try to work with different softwares and in different parts of the process?
I, for one, think it's impossible to have it all in one.
No.
I believe the average amount of tools that a property management company of, say, 50 plus units has is at least 12. It could be a lot more.
Wow.
That tech stack makes things very difficult, especially when you've got different siloed team members operating and having different needs. So for me, it's about reducing that tech stack as much as possible. But as much as you might be considering a PMS that says it does everything, it may not. And there's no one size fits all. A great quote that I heard once was, if you've worked with one property management company, you've worked with one property management company. There's no one size fits all. Everyone works differently. They have all different needs.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just reducing the tech stack. But near on impossible to have everything in one solution.
One of the things that we identify in mr.alfred when trying to understand the market was that small and medium operators don't have enough knowledge to know which tools to choose, and also because depending on the stage of the development of the company. So Gianpaolo, you have consulted a lot of companies.
Yeah.
So what would you advise a small operator, like when to start looking at technology? How one size doesn't fit all, but then how do I know which is the software that suits my operation?
Yeah, as everything, technology is the essential part of the business. I say the vacation rental market, fortunately, is well advanced under this aspect. So there are a lot of technologies to help us develop a solid business since day one. So I would recommend to start with technology as soon as possible. Is a cost? Yes, but it's going to simplify your life. Then technology is ever evolving. So it's something that possibly a software that is good today, possibly is bad tomorrow. So you need always to check what is the best solution for you in this precise moment, and look forward to see if the software can grow with your business. So you can see that you can grow your potential growth in the next 20 years. In the next 5 years is up to 50 units. Perfect. You need to find a software that has as many components as possible and can accompany you during this growth process. So you cannot even pretend to change software every couple of years, because it's really is a real struggle to change software, to migrate data. You're going to lose pieces of your business doing things, these kind of things, really often. So my recommendation is to keep your business together with a trusted tech company for as long as possible. Here, don't bind yourself to a company that is sort of blocking your growth. So this is super important to consider, that possibly this company cannot offer you the right tools or the right specification looking for, and can at some point block your growth or limit your growth. This is really important, because I heard a lot of stories from property managers say, I cannot do that because my PMS or my company cannot do that, cannot offer that, is not connected with these other things. And this is not acceptable in 2023 or 2024, that a PMS or a software is limiting the growth of your business because they are not integrated, or they are not foresee an integration with, for you, an essential piece of technology you found perfect for your business. For instance, as I said before, smart locks. So if you find a smart lock that is fit your needs, and your PMS say, I'm not integrated with that, say, he is limiting somehow your growth. So this is, what we're talking about. Be careful. Technology is important, is the base of the well-functioning of your business, but at the same time can be, a blocker on the growth of your business.
But once again, because I think that's a very interesting topic, and let me try to go deeper here. Yeah. But how do you know when you have 5 properties that smart lock is going to be critical? How do you know when you have 5 properties that dynamic pricing is key to scale? Because you can have 100% occupancy at 5 properties, so you don't need maybe or you can do it yourself. So how do you know how to select a good revenue manager if you are not?
You should come to scale.
Look, I think, I'm sure you have at times looked at Facebook groups dedicated to vacation rentals. One of the most common questions you'll see is, what's the best PMS? It's a ridiculous question, because nobody can answer that to say, I work with such and such, you have to go with them. It absolutely is down to your needs and what you want. What I would say is, a lot of PMSs do offer dozens of separate tools. Do you actually need them? If you don't need them now, though, might you need them in the future? You may not. So you might be signing up to something actually that for what you want and need to grow is not the right thing. So selecting the right PMS is crucial, because again, we've worked with and spoken to so many, and I'm sure you have worked alongside companies as well, Oriol. To migrate a PMS is painful. It's probably up there with arranging a wedding in terms of the most stressful things you could do in your life. And people don't move because it's too stressful, and they can't deal with the thought of all of the things that come with it.
Well, honestly, I kind of disagree a little bit here.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
Because in the end, maybe it's not. Maybe migrating PMS, in my opinion, my experience, is not the most difficult part. Maybe it's migrating the whole tech stack around PMS. Because maybe you want to change PMS, but the smart lock that you added because the PMS were integrated with the smart lock is not integrated with the other one.
Yeah.
So I think PMS is the most simple piece of software, because in the end, there are channel managers, there is data that is in the channels. So the migration of data is not that complicated. What, in my opinion, is complicated maybe is the processes around it. So, and maybe we're saying the same thing. I'm just trying to separate it, no? And probably the advice that we can give the small operators is understand well the processes, no? And maybe don't over
complicate.
Exactly. Over complicate processes because of the tech.
What I can say is like, owning a standard car versus a race car. So it depends on your needs. Your real needs are, you cannot ask a property manager with 100 units, what software are you using? And say, look, I'm using this one. And price-wise, it could be like 1,000 per month. If you're managing 5 units, possibly you need a way simpler software and a way simpler technology for your business that are not necessarily the same technology used by a large property management company. So think about what you really need and be advised by person that really know the market. Not trust anyone, because this is really important, because many times people get lost because they receive really bad recommendation.
So just to close a little bit the block of technology, I need one technology that has caught your attention in the last 3 months. Only one. And let's try to be specific.
Well, look, and this is such an obvious answer, but I mean, you can't get away from AI. Wherever we look, it's there, and everyone's exploring it. I'm not saying that this is going to be a game changer for everyone, but it's something you can't ignore.
But which application of AI?
I think for me, as a digital marketer, it's more in terms of creating content for your website. I think for me, and in the SEO side of things, that is a game changer. If you are serious about online rankings and your position on search engines like Google, this can make your life so much easier. Not to 100% rely on a tool like ChatGPT, but to explore it and see how it can help you to create content. For me, is a huge thing, and I've never seen anything like it. And I've only just scratched the surface with it. But for me, it's a big thing. But AI underpins so many other things in our industry that I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm excited to learn. And we've had some great speakers at our scale shows, the last 2 scale shows, speaking about AI, and it's exciting. It's kind of scary at the same time.
They exist.
They do exist. They absolutely do, yeah.
Possibly I'm repetitive. I'm talking about the same thing over and over. So we had 10 years ago, I had experience of this, was the channel management era. So channel manager was the topic. Then we had the revenue management era. So all about revenue management. And, possibly because we filter it and we're not giving too much space to talk about this, because it's a product. So it is, once again, smart locks is the moment of smart locks. This is the technology that rise since COVID, because since was the boom of smart locks 3 years ago, 3 years ago. This is the moment of adoption, I would say, and most of property managers have this technology in place or are considering it. So we are living the so-called smart lock era. I would say this is the moment. So if you don't have this technology in place, consider it, because absolutely, as I said before, is a game changer, will simplify your business. And once you have this in place, there's no turn back. Absolutely. So yes, it's simple, is not science rocket, is something that is there. You can literally put a smart lock on your doors, with your own hands. So there's not miracle technology behind it. So yeah, this is it.
Yeah, for me, smart locks, I kind of agree with you. Smart locks for me is an enabler for a lot of things that you can do with it. No?
Yes.
But for me, answering my own question, for me, the technology or the application of probably a bit of AI is, for me, the conversational AI. I think it will, and again, maybe it's a bit old now, but the chatbots, combined with the ticketing system, a lot, mainly with guests, but also to manage your operations. I think this is going to be a game changer.
Allow me. So the second best technology is unified inbox. Okay, so considering, I'm quite sure most of people hearing this podcast, they are selling their units over different channels, websites, Booking.com, Airbnb, and many others. And unifying all the communication with their guests into one place, I think this is another piece of technology that is really important.
You see, I thought a lot about unified inbox, because it's true, it's a need of the property manager, but I don't know what you think about that. But I think that the unified inbox is a way that the OTAs created kind of a burden a barrier for us, the property managers or the non-OTAs players, to have to use OTAs. So on one hand, I agree that unified inbox is, but I change it to conversational tools that are not unified inbox, just for the sole reason of not having to depend on OTAs.
Yeah.
So I would advise anyone, try to build in parallel something that is not the unified. I mean, I get your concept of unified inbox, but I want to challenge a little bit the status quo of saying, please. And I think that you mentioned it, Damian, this morning as well. Let's try not to depend on the OTAs and try to bring traffic to your website, to your own tools. And I think that creating a tool or environment to your guest that he or she feels confident into using your tool of communication, I think in the long run, it's much better for a property manager.
Yep.
But that's my
we
quest.
Open a door.
That's my quest.
We open a box that we can talk about this topic forever.
Have another episode of the podcast on that. So to wrap up our conversation, I want to introduce the event that we'll have next year, 2024. That is Scale Show Dubai. What can we expect? What can our audience expect from this show?
Wow. So as you know, we've got about 6 or 7 current conferences in different countries. Today is our second day in Dubai. We are coming in blind here because we've never been to Dubai before, but we've always been excited by the prospect of coming and learning by culturally, but also what's going on with short-term rentals in this region. My goodness. Today was such an eye-opener to meet so many property managers who've got hundreds of properties, but to also know that there is a thirst for knowledge as well. And that's what we feel we can bring to Dubai next year. So our conference is all about knowledge, but also about the networking and people learning together. And I think anyone who is remotely interested in the short-term rental industry in Dubai should come along for 2 days, but also just to meet the other kind of leading players in the industry in this area, and the knowledgeable ones like yourself, Oriol, and many others that we met today. We're really excited about bringing all of these people together, as well as obviously our network of speakers and show sponsors and partners, just to bring something that's going to be hugely exciting on top of the events that you do, obviously, as well yourself. And yeah, we're thoroughly excited. So it's going to be 2 days. Our first day will be dedicated to professional property managers, like our template has been from the start. And our second day will be open to all, so property managers and hosts. And we think we've got something for everyone. In fact, we know we do.
You said everything. I only had, we want to put together, not just, we can bring a lot of knowledge from other countries, because I'm quite sure we are going to have speakers from abroad, so from Europe, maybe from US or different countries we met along the way. But the most important thing is we are going to have the chance to learn by property managers in Dubai, successful individuals that they scale the business here in Dubai, what they did, what they are doing, and what they're planning to do in the future to scale their business successfully in this very nice city. So I think it's going to be an hybrid, I would say, conference where you have the chance to meet people from here and a successful property manager from abroad. So a mix of the two experiences, local players and international players. So which is something that is, at some point, as we learned in other conferences we had, like for instance in Italy, that people are sort of blind because they only see what they have in front of them. Many times is confronting your business with other players from abroad, sort of open your visions and make you think about different way of doing the same thing or developing your business. So I mean, Scale is all about that. We are providing, different point of views, not just the standard ones. So we are really looking forward to meet you in Dubai in 2024.
Yeah, and from the Alternative Hospitality Council, we will be doing like series of events between now and next October. and we will try to also help create this community that I think it's so important, especially in Dubai, which is one of the capitals of tourism in the world. But short-term rentals are 5-6 years old, and we are very proud to have a very vibrant industry. And we honestly we love to have these events happening.
So look, we'll be working very closely with you and your team, Oriol, and we're hugely excited to bring this here in terms of an emerging market. You know, we know it's established here anyway, but much like our other events in France, like crazily enough, that was one of the first events of its kind in France, the most touristed, visited country in the world. Italy, maybe there have been some other events, but South Africa, you know, we're very excited about bringing this to countries where perhaps this experience hasn't happened before. And we really want to, we want everybody to share this with us. As you said, community, it's a really big word for us. It's bringing a community together over 2 days. And, you know, without wanting to sound corny, you know, this is about building relationships that you take with you for your whole business life. And, you know, make your company bigger and better and stronger.
I agree. Very good. Excellent. So I think that's the perfect way to end up our conversation. Thank you very much for giving us an idea of what's a skill show, shedding light of the market in Europe and in the other places that you have been doing these shows. Well, and for the rest, stay tuned for the next episode where we have more people from the industry that will add the value that we want to create this community by innovating, by bringing expertise, and by improving the whole ecosystem in Dubai. Thank you very much.
See you in Dubai 24.
Thank you, Oriol.
Say, take care. Bye.